All right, welcome everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in this morning. Good to see everybody. I am actually joining from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and this is the first time I've actually ever been here, and it made me a little nostalgic. I got to be honest, because I did not realize how impactful Amway has been on this community. I came up for a business meeting and literally everything in the airport is Amway, everything in the town is Amway, the hotel that I'm staying in is Amway. I mean, it's crazy when you look at how much impact this company has had on this town, on this area. And so for me, it was really ironic, obviously, coming here to do business meetings for Bryte Lyfe, but getting a chance to see what the impact is that a company can have on an entire town, area, and industry. When you look at what Amway has done over the years, and obviously the wealth that they've created, not only for the people that started the company, but for all of the people that started in Amway. I mean, if you look at some of the biggest achievers, highest achievers in the entire industry, a lot of them got started in Amway. I mean, Amway was really obviously the kind of the godfather of network marketing and really where it all originated. A lot of the big leaders that went on to start other companies and other brands, and obviously now this is an industry that does billions of dollars in revenue around the world, globally, not just here in the US, but to be here and see, like, literally as you walk in the airport, Amway welcomes you to Grand Rapids. I mean, you think about what the potential is that we're doing right now, because Amway was restricted on how many people they could pay and how many levels they could pay. That's where the term multi-level came from, because they didn't have software, they didn't have technology. I mean, when this company started, it didn't have any of those things. It couldn't pay like we pay. I mean, our compensation plan pays to infinity, which is pretty wild when you think about it. I mean, somebody could join Bryte Lyfe 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, 50 years from now, and they can still get paid, and you can still get paid. And it pays to infinity. And back in the old days, when they had to do compensation manually or through spreadsheets or calculators, I mean, it hurts my head to even think about how they did it back 60, 70 years ago. It's pretty incredible, pretty wild. And so just ironic that I'm here, wanted to share that with you. And I hope it makes you think bigger. I hope it makes you think about the fact that this is not get rich quick. This can be get rich slow, but nobody got rich in Amway quick. Nobody got rich in companies that have become legacy companies quick. It's pay attention, get excited, never quit. The only way you can fail at this is to quit. And so I think it should be a reminder for everyone, when you see what's possible and what we're building here at Bryte Lyfe is for the long term. This is to be a legacy company. It's to be a company like Amway was, that made an impact, because we can get to billions much faster. If you remember what I talked about in Florida, for those of you that were in Miami, talking about how long it took other companies to get to a billion and then how long it could take us to get to a billion, could be much faster. You look at how fast Facebook got to a billion. You look at how long it took Apple to get to a trillion, and now Apple's almost 4 trillion. It took its entire time that it's been a company to get to a trillion. It hit a trillion just a few years ago, and then it now is 4 trillion. So it took literally the entire time Apple's been in business to get to a trillion, just hit it a few years ago, and now it's at 4 trillion. It's crazy to think about the dollars, the numbers, with tech and software and how things grow. And so we have some amazing potential here. You just have to stay plugged in. You have to stay committed and realize that this is get rich slow. It's not get rich quick. Our residual program is built for longevity. It's a massive compensation opportunity, but it's designed to build off of retention. And as members stay and as we have new members join, that residual is going to continue to grow for you. So I wanted to start off with that. And then before I get into the actual training for today, I wanted to talk really quick about the service project and thank everybody who's already participated. We're down to just a handful of items that Eva just sent me. We only need 6 desks, 6 chairs, and 4 beanbags. That's all that's left from everything that was on our list. And so that's 16 items. And so we really need people to participate. And if you're not going to the Atlantis, all you have to do is shoot Eva a message if you want to contribute. Let her know what you're getting. She will figure out where to send it. And so just shoot Eva an email. It's in the news section of the back office. That list is current. We've updated it multiple times to reflect what has been purchased from our group and what's been donated. So we need to make sure that we get these last 16 items. So we really need 16 people to step up, regardless of whether you're going to the Atlantis or not. We've committed to this project and to these students and to these young people, and we really want to make an impact. This is going to be the first, what I call lasting impact project that we've done as we continue to grow and do, the bottle schools and do some of the basketball courts with my friends, Nancy Lieberman and my friends that have Hug It Forward. As we continue to do these projects, we're going to leave an impact, just like Amway has done here in Grand Rapids. We're going to do the same thing globally around the world, everywhere we go. And this is really the first one that's going to have lasting impact. When we went to Lotus House in Miami last month, that was temporary impact. We didn't do anything that had lasting permanent impact, but that our focus moving forward is trying to leave impact everywhere we go. And so this is going to do that. And it's going to, this classroom, learning center, library that we're making over is going to have a massive impact on these youth and their future and, jobs and careers and making an impact themselves and possibly on other islands in the Bahamas or even leaving the Bahamas, giving people an opportunity to experience those things. And so we need 16 items. So if everybody could team in, even if you've already gotten something, if you have the ability to do it, please contribute. Even if you're not going, like I said, shoot Eva a message. Let her know ask her what's easiest to get and to have somebody take it. We've had some people that have volunteered to take items. I can take an additional 2 items as well. So if somebody can't go, but you want to contribute, you want to get an item, shoot me a message, shoot Eva a message. We will make sure that it gets to the Bahamas for this service project. And so thank you to everybody who's already contributed. Like I said, it's in the back office, in the news section. You could just go straight to the back office. You click on the news. You'll see all the current items there. The links are there direct. Nothing is over $100. Everything is under $100. So even if you wanted to pair up with somebody, team up with somebody, you could do that as well. So without further ado, I want to get into the training today. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to talk about social media. Okay, so with social media, something that's been working for me this week, in fact, I've put in several sales this week myself. And what I've done is I've been able to really make what we're doing here at Bryte Lyfe tangible for people. And so I want you to write this down. I want you to think about, how can I make my Bryte Lyfe business real to people? How can I make it tangible to people? So I want to share with you something that we've been doing this week, and some people have been doing it, and I've heard really good feedback. But me personally, I've put in 4 sales this week, okay? So 4 signups this week that have come from these social media posts, okay? So they've been conversation starters that have led to signups, and so I want to share this with you really quick. So if you are not already following me on Instagram and on Facebook, go do that. And then you'll have direct access to these posts, okay? But what I want to do is, we talked about this last week, but still not everybody has done this. And let me tell you why this is so important. Because when you're doing a business that is virtual, okay, and I've been doing this for almost 30 years, and so it's not something that they can physically touch or hold. And so if you have not gotten a chance to book a trip yet, okay, your friends and family that you've approached and the ones that you're going to approach have not seen your membership in action. So they haven't seen you take a trip. They haven't seen you, change your lifestyle, cross something off your bucket list. So people are watching you, the ones that you've talked to and the ones that you're going to talk to. And so anytime you can make it real, you can make it tangible, what it does is it changes people's perception. And so without selling, without posting links and videos, this 12 Days of Giving campaign has been working very well. And so literally I've posted the same top part, okay, this part right here that you see in honor of the holidays. This year, my company is reminding people to give life for Christmas. we made their bucket list dream come true. And I shared the Bryte Lyfe page post, okay? This is not in the group. It's on the Bryte Lyfe page because we don't want people who don't know what Bryte Lyfe is to go to the rep group, okay? We have two groups, and then we have the page. And same thing with Instagram. The other thing is I've seen some people post it on Facebook, but not share it on Instagram. You don't have to share it as a post on Instagram. At a bare minimum, share it on your story. So Tiffany is going to post the new one today. She's posted it every day. And so I've seen some people, I saw Ronnie actually took several of the posts and made a collage, so you can go to Ronnie's page and see that. But I like the fact that I've done it every day, and I've done a single post every day with the 12 days of giving. So what's happened is people have gotten curious, all right? So much to the point, okay, this is good. This is how you know it's working, okay? Social media works when it elicits a response, okay? So when you see these posts here, I've posted a different one every day, but I've used the same top part, okay? So I've kept it simple, kept it easy. It's not salesy. I'm not pitching. There's no sign up. There's no mention of Zooms. There's no links, none of that. What it's doing is it's making people curious because everybody wants to know, how is this person going to Hawaii? How did they get this trip? What is this? What is bucket list? Okay. And so what's happened is people have started messaging me and they've started to reach out. And look, this is coming from me. And so a lot of my group I've talked to, a lot of my friends, a lot of my followers, they know what I'm doing. But I know it's working because even people that I haven't talked to, or some that I've talked to, but maybe they've not joined, they've followed up because they're all wanting to know what's going on with all these trips that we're giving away. Here's how I know it's working. I've had multiple people this week message me about jobs, okay? And a couple of people message me asking me, to give them a trip, all right? So I know it's working because people are like, man, things must be going so well. You're giving away so many trips. Your company must be exploding. Y'all must be doing really well. And so I've gotten multiple messages, which I've turned into guests on the Zooms. I've had guests on Zooms every night this week. And it's come from these posts. And so they're not salesy. There's no websites. There's no links. Okay. Even if they go to the Bryte Lyfe page, it's just the page. That's why we don't want to share these from the Bryte Lyfe group where it's got all the links and it's got all the videos and it's got all the trainings. Okay. And remember the add tag message group, which is Bucket List Life. That group is for testimonials. It's for proof of concept. So you can easily take one of these people once you get them on a presentation and get them to the Zooms, okay, or to whatever presentation you're going to use. And so all you have to do to see exactly what I posted is just go to my page, go to my Instagram page, go to my Facebook page, and you can see exactly what I posted. Because remember, social media really should be an extra method of contact. It should be an extra touch point. Because here's the thing. Once you approach somebody about this, they are watching you. And I've talked to you about this before. So if they don't see a change in you, think about it like this. I think the best way to think about this is think about it as if you're selling a weight loss product. Okay, let's just imagine for a second that we're selling a weight loss product. If you talk to somebody about a weight loss product and you don't lose weight, you stay the same weight. In the back of their mind, your friends and family that you approached about the weight loss product is, she didn't stick with it, he didn't stick with it, or it doesn't work, right? So here's the problem. If you have joined Bryte Lyfe, but you're not going to the Bahamas, you didn't go to Miami, then how are you making it real for the people that are watching you, right? Because how are you making it tangible? That's why I would encourage you, you've seen people post in the group about the member deals. So if you've not been able to travel yet, you've got proof with the member deals. People, we've spent thousands of dollars through the member deals website. I get a report. And so, we're over $500,000 in travel bookings. We've had thousands of dollars in member deals. Okay. We've had people book golf. I mean, all of these things are happening. And now we've had people earn bucket list trips. And these people that have been notified that are part of this 12 days of giving, This is the best way for the looky-loos, is what I like to call them, the looky-loos. They're watching you. They're looking to see. So think about it, right? If you were promoting a weight loss product and you talked to your friends and family, you pitched them, they came to a Zoom, they got involved, they signed up, or maybe they got disengaged, but they're watching you still. Everybody's watching you. So if you've mentioned it or you've talked to people about it, they are now on full-on watch. So people are watching to see if it's real, if you're going to stick with it. See, the thing is they want to be able to say, I told you so. They want to be able to say, she didn't stick with it. He didn't stick with it. He stopped doing it. He just got into another thing. It's just another thing. It's just another thing. You don't want to prove those people right. Okay. So the best way you can prove them wrong is to show them real, tangible proof. And what better way than this 12 days of giving campaign? Because they're not salesy, right? We're giving things away, but it's drawing people in. It's making them ask questions. It's keeping it on the forefront, right? Because you want to stay relevant, right? With these people that you've talked to and with the people that you're going to invite and that you're going to talk to about Bryte Lyfe. You want to stay relevant. You want to stay, you want to stay in the front of their mind. You want to stay like, oh yeah, aren't you doing travel? So now when they think about travel, oh yeah, aren't you doing the travel thing or the lifestyle thing, the music thing, the sports thing, the golf thing? You need to find ways to make it real without selling. See, when you know you're doing social media wrong is when nobody is responding. This is how I know this 12 days of giving campaign is working, because even though a lot of these people know me and I'm very vocal and very visible, obviously with Bryte Lyfe, okay, they're still asking me, how did this person get a trip to the Maldives? How did this person get a trip to Hawaii? How did these people get these trips to the Bahamas? It's this giving spirit. It's people are seeing it. They're getting attracted in. And so these are just some examples of things that you want to stay consistent with your social media. So it's just like losing weight if you're selling a weight loss product. You've either got to be using it. So either you have to be going on a trip, you need to come to the Bahamas. We still have a handful of rooms, by the way, for the Bahamas. What better way to say, to the looky-loos, this is real? What better proof than you standing in the Bahamas with the sign? Then it's real to people, right? It's the equivalent of losing 50 pounds on a weight loss product. You being in the Bahamas with us is the same thing as somebody selling weight loss and losing 50 pounds. People that lose 50 pounds are effective at selling weight loss. People who are traveling and using the benefits, playing golf, using the member deals, people that are using it are more engaged, they're more excited, and people that are seeing you. So you need to be sharing these testimonials. So if you've not used it, if you've not done it, what better time than right now? I mean, I don't understand why there's only like 6 or 7 shares on a lot of these posts. I mean, everybody in this room, as soon as we're done, should go share one of these 12 days of giving or share the one from today. I'm sure Tiffany will probably have the one for today up by the time we're off of here. So share the one from yesterday if it's not. Share the one from today when it comes out. So go take the one from yesterday, share it, and share it on Instagram. You don't even have to do it as a post. Share it as a story. Share it as a story on Facebook. Well, here's what you should do. Share it as a post first, and then share the post as a story. It drives everything back to the original source. And we're trying to get people excited about the bucket list concept. And obviously these qualifiers are excited now, and they're going to be going on these trips, and they're going to be posting photos and sharing pictures. It's one more way to keep those looky-loos engaged and keep them watching. Because here's the thing. If you quit, or if you unplug, or if you slow down, or if you don't come to the Bahamas and you don't book any travel, then these people in their heads, they're saying, see, I told you so. I told you they weren't going to stick with it. I told you they weren't going to do it. I told you they weren't going to make money. I told you they weren't going to travel. Don't let those people be right. Prove those people wrong. And what better way while you're waiting to prove them yourself than to show them these other people that are already maximizing the benefits and the potential of what Bryte Lyfe is all about. Okay. And so that's how you know you're doing social media right, is when you've got people curious, you've got them asking questions. If people are not responding to your posts, they're not engaging, then you're selling too much, all right? So it's very important that you keep people engaged and you keep them focused on that. So that's the first thing we're going to talk about. Now, we're going to go into the next component, and this is the thing for me that was always like my secret weapon, because if I look back on my career, people would always ask me when I would meet people at big events. We would have thousands of people at the event, and people would come up to me afterwards, and they would say, Wes, what is your biggest tip? What's your top secret, like most effective skill, most effective technique? And I always answered the question this way whenever people asked me that, which was, my big thing was routine and consistency. Because see, what happens is, as humans, we get into patterns. It's the same thing with sleep, right? I got into this sleep pattern when my dad was in the hospital, of getting up at 5:30 because I was staying in the hospital. And I'm a morning person anyway, but they would turn him, and then they would get ready for shift change at 5:30 in the morning, because the next nurse would come in at 6:30, and so they would have to do these things before the shift change. So over those 2 months, I got used to that 5:30 time of waking up. But normally I'm like a 6 or 6:30, 7 at the latest, okay? And I'm a morning person, so I stay in that pattern. I never use an alarm clock. I don't need an alarm clock. I haven't used an alarm clock in years. What's funny is, when I have crazy flights, I set an alarm clock. I almost always get up before my alarm clock, almost always, because I believe that our brains are that powerful, our bodies are that powerful, that we can literally look at the alarm clock and train our mind. That's the time that we need to wake up. And I don't know how many of you do this, but like literally the very infrequent times I use an alarm clock, I get up before the alarm goes off, because I'm training my brain what time I need to wake up. And so the same thing happens with this business. And so, I talked about last week the example of the water spout, okay? And the old timey water spout, and having to get it started. And it's crazy because I remember this because my grandparents had one of these. And so getting it started took forever, but then once you got it going, it was going. But then when you let it stop, then it stops. And so what I'm going to teach you today is, I'm going to teach you the biggest hack on this business to keeping rank, staying consistent, and continuing to grow. Because obviously it's easy during the holidays right now to unplug, to not do the same activity, to not make the same invites. People are giving excuses, holiday parties, Christmas parties, gifts, whatever. That's why I've continued to remind people to give the gift of life, right? To experiences, lifestyle. Get people thinking about this. Get people thinking about traveling at the holidays, creating memories. Don't just think about tchotchke gifts and gifts. Think about life. And so I have that video on my Instagram page and on my Facebook page if you want to go watch that. It was an excerpt from the training that I did a few weeks ago with you guys, and we were talking about the holidays approaching. And so here it is, okay? And I call this the 4-hour work week. Some of you may be familiar with Tim Ferriss's book. Most people talk about, the 40-hour work week. Okay. But here's the thing I'll tell you. You do not need to be full-time in this business to make full-time income. Very few times in my career as a rep did I work a full-time schedule. What people would consider a full-time schedule, 40 hours a week. So what I did was, I came up with the 4-hour work week for this business, okay? And I followed this 4-hour work week at a bare minimum. So it was like my minimum commitment with myself. And so I want to challenge all of you to make this commitment with yourself, because this 4-hour work week, if you do this consistently every week, I guarantee you 6 figures in income. Guarantee you. No one in my organization ever followed this 4-hour work week for a year and we're not at 6 figures in income, okay? So think about that for a second. A 4-hour work week, okay, is 16 hours a month, all right? It's not even 40 hours, which people consider full-time. So that's 16 hours a month. So over the course of 12 months, 16 hours is 192, okay? So 192 hours over the course of a year. Okay, now think about this for a second. I just told you that if you follow this 4-hour work week and you do it for a year, you'll be at 6 figures for sure. Okay, so then think about that. If it's 190 hours roughly over the course of a year, 16 hours a month times 12, so that's where you get to your yearly number of hours. That's almost $1,000 an hour in resulting residual income. Okay. Because if you're at about 180, 190 hours, okay, and you're over six figures in income, so let's say you're at 125, that's literally about $800 in residual income passively that you've now earned over this time of 12 months of putting in 4 hours of work a week. But here's the problem. If you unplug for a month, or if you unplug for a week, then what happens is, just like that spigot, you have to start all over. And I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. This business pays you in the future for what you're doing now. This is the biggest lesson, I think, for people to understand in this business, because people are so used to putting in work and getting paid, putting in work and getting paid, putting in work and getting paid. That's linear income. That's linear income. That's linear math. You put in the work, you get paid. That's hourly pay. That's employee mentality. You have to think about this in terms of business owner mentality. So you are the business owner. And so business owners know. Did you know that I looked into franchises several years ago? This has probably been 6 years ago now. I looked into some franchises. I was actually looking at putting in a food franchise from my hometown in the Dallas area. And I looked at some different franchise costs. And did you know that McDonald's at the time, and it probably still is one of the most expensive franchises you can buy? And they teach and train that it takes on average 10 years, okay, 10 years to recoup your investment in your McDonald's franchise. So let's say that the total all-in cost was like $3 or $4 million or something like that. Okay. That meant that your profit over those 10 years was, let's call it $300,000, $400,000. So it took you 10 years before you got your first dollar of profit off your investment. 10 years. You think about that for a second. This business, right, is a massive residual income opportunity, but it's all on the back end. It's all on residual. And our retention, we talked about this, is so great that it is going to take you time over time to get the income coming in. So you have to get out of thinking things linearly, and you have to start thinking multiplication. And so instead of in a line, you have to think of multiplication and getting levels out there, getting people out there, getting meetings going, like the meeting that you do in your market, because for my career, I had about a dozen meetings every week, live meetings, major cities that I built up. And when I first started, there were two. And then over time, there were 12 meetings that happened Tuesdays and Thursdays in 12 different cities around the country that happened every week like clockwork, rain, snow, sleet, or shine. And it took me a while to get to that point. And I worked hundreds, thousands of hours in the beginning before my residual was anywhere close to paying me back for the time and the hours that I was putting in. Okay. So I didn't do this 4-hour work week, right? The 4-hour work week became a hack because what I did was I got people started on this 4-hour work week, and then they got results because they didn't let off. They didn't unplug. They didn't stop for a week or a month, because you have to do it every week because you're training your body. I tell people, look, it's the same thing as church. If they change the time and the place of church every week, so every week church was at a different time, different location, service was a different length of time. If it was like that, nobody would go to church because it's not part of their routine. It's not part of their schedule. There's a reason why it's at the same time, the same place every week, same location, same length of time. It's because people are creatures of habit. People get into this routine. And so by getting into this 4-hour work week routine, it literally becomes second nature. So Sunday night is the corporate call. Saturday is the training. And I know I see a lot of familiar faces here. So you're doing already part of the 4-hour work week, okay? Because I've broken it down. So here's the 4 hours, okay? Here's the 4 hours. 45 minutes for this training. That's what they've averaged, okay? 45 minutes for this training on Saturday. 15 minutes for the corporate calls on Sunday night. So that's 1 hour, okay? So training on Saturday, corporate call on Sunday night. Then I recommend to everybody that you have to have a minimum of one live meeting a week, okay? And I've given an hour to that. Now, here's what it can be. We talked about this in the past, and I can do some training on this in the future. Remember, it doesn't have to be a public meeting like a hotel meeting or like a bar or restaurant or anything. It could be a lunch. It could be a coffee, but you need to meet with a prospect live and in person. And I've dedicated an hour for this. So you might have a little commute time. Obviously, if you show them one of the videos when you sit down with them, that's 20 minutes. So you might have some drive time and some discussion and answering questions. I would suggest logging into the app, showing them some prices, asking them, what's on your bucket list? What's the top thing on your bucket list? Let's check it out. Is it Maldives? Is it Dubai? Is it Hawaii? These are some of the most popular places on people's lists, by the way. So what's on your list? Let's look, okay? Eva and I were looking at some stuff in Hawaii yesterday for another event, and we found some rooms in Hawaii that were 50, 60% off coming up over the holidays at some of the best name brands in Hawaii. So, do some vision boarding with them. Get them thinking about what's possible, right? Ask them what's on their bucket list. As soon as the presentation's over, instead of saying, what did you think about the presentation? Say, what's the top thing on your bucket list? And pull your app out, pull your phone out, and then literally go through the search and show them some results in that place. Is it Paris? Is it Dubai? Is it London? Is it Greece, right? Go to the app and let the app do the selling for you. Let them dream a little bit. Let them be a kid again. I talk about this all the time. We dream as children, right? But then as we become adults, we lose our sense of dreaming. We lose our sense of hope because we just settle. We settle for life. We settle for work. We settle for our lifestyle, and we stop dreaming. When you ask kids what they want to be when they grow up, they say things like astronaut, professional basketball player, professional football player, singer. They say, these big, grand dreams. You come back and ask those same people when they're in high school what their dreams are, it's changed. Then you ask them after high school, for those that are in college or the ones that don't go to college, what do you want to be now? People don't say, oh, I want to grow up and be, this, I want to do manual labor. I want to do this. I want to do that. It's not the thing that they dream about and think about as a child. And so when you get an opportunity to get somebody in front of you, let our product, let our value, let our dreams sell them on their dreams. Let them dream again. Let them, have you been on a honeymoon, or where's somewhere you've always wanted to go, or what's a place you've always wanted to see or see before you die? Ask these questions. So I've got an hour for the training and the meeting. I've got an hour for your in person. So it could be a one-on-one, it could be a two-on-one, it could be a live meeting. I would encourage you, as soon as we're done with the holidays, I would be having live presentations. Here's the other thing. What a great way. I saw Tim and them's post yesterday. A lot of the team was hanging out last night. They posted it in the group. Do a potluck with your team. Do a Christmas, do a white elephant party with your teams. Do something to get together. You don't have to have a pitch. You don't have to have a presentation. Just keep the gang together. Keep the group together over the holidays and keep people dreaming and thinking. You do a Bahamas planning meeting for everybody that's going to the Bahamas, or talk to them about trying to figure out a way they can get to the Bahamas. These are things you could be doing over the holidays, but 1 hour of this schedule needs to be for a live in-person presentation, whether you're giving it or whether it's a video, but you're belly to belly with a human, at least, if not doing a live event in your market. I'm going to encourage everybody to come out of the new year and be doing live events in all of your markets, because the goal would be to have that duplicate as you grow in other areas. So then that's the first 2 hours of your 4-hour work week. The next hour, okay, is 3 of the Zooms. Okay, the Zooms have obviously been our most effective tool. It's been what people have used the most, all right? They're 20 minutes. So that gives you the opportunity to be on 3 of the 5. You don't have to be on every one, but be on 3 of the 5. And I would do the same 3 every week. So for me, I always do Sunday and Thursday. For me personally, I do those presentations. So obviously, I'm on those too. All right. And then I've been on some of the others, and I've had guests on some of the others, because we have great presenters. We have great presenters sharing the information, and we want to try to keep different people presenting, because different people relate to people differently. You know, we've got great presenters. Tim's been great. Tiffany's been great. Denson's been great. We have great presenters that are helping with this. So do the same 3 every week. So is it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? Is it Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday? That way you have Mondays and Wednesdays in between. Maybe you do church on Wednesday. I don't know what your schedule is, but 3 of the 20-minute Zooms equals an hour. Then I have an hour of pure inviting. Now, here is the challenge, right? You want to know where people in this business lack, okay? It's the amount of time they actually physically spend inviting. Number one, if I ever sit down with somebody who wants to grow their business, wants to make an impact, wants to, make big money, the biggest thing is I look at how much time they're spending actually physically inviting. And so I ask them, I said, do you invite over the phone or do you invite via text? And a lot of people invite via text, which is fine. The way you normally communicate with people is fine for using that method of communication, right? I always was a little bit old school and still am. If it's somebody that I really want to recruit, if it's somebody that I really want in my business, I'm going to reach out to them because it's important, right? It's important enough for a phone call. They should also treat that with more importance, okay? But here's what I'll do. I'll say, okay, if you're texting, let's see your invite text, all right? So we'll search it. So I'll see what they're sending, and then I'll search it. And I'll see on their phone right then and there how many invites they've actually sent because they send the same thing. So you can search it in the text and see how many messages pop up. And lo and behold, there's 6 of them, there's 9 of them, there's 4 of them, there's 2 of them. And these are people that are like, I really want to grow my business. I really want to take it to the next level. I want to hit rank. I want to get it up there. I want to get my income up there. And I go through their text invites and they're saying that they're inviting via text and there's not even 10 of them in their phone. So here's what it tells me. If you would take a stopwatch, okay, and this is the best way to do it. If you take a stopwatch and you set it next to your phone and your computer where your contacts are, you can use your social media, have it up as I like going through social media because it reminds me of who to approach, who to talk to, who to message, who to call. See who you have messages from. Look in your DMs, look in your inbox. See if that triggers somebody to invite. But here's the thing. When you start the stopwatch, you just start inviting. Don't looky-loo around and go through and scroll. Just start somewhere, whether it's the A's, the B's, the C's, whether it's your DMs on Facebook, your DMs on Instagram, and just invite. Here's the thing. Most of you will not be able to make it an hour. You'll get distracted. You'll get, discouraged. Something will happen. Your kids will come in. You'll get a phone call. You'll get a text. Most people cannot even make it through 1 hour. All right. I have an hour on here. And I encourage you to use an hour for inviting. If everybody just added 1 hour of inviting to their business every week, you could probably be at 6 figures with just that. That's how few of people actually really spend time building the business. Because at the end of the day, inviting is the lifeblood. New blood is the lifeblood. You've got to be inviting. So if you're not inviting, you're not growing. Right? It's always that way. My entire career in World Ventures, the 13 years that I was there, every time we did a big event, which was quarterly after the beginning, in the very beginning, we did an event every single month. And the key leaders, they went every single month to that place. You've heard me talk about this. But then as we grew, we started doing these quarterly events. And so every time we would go to these quarterly events, first question that one of our trainers would always ask is, how many of you, this is your first event? And in the room, every time, it didn't matter if we were in Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, the US, every time that question happened, 75% of the room's hands went up. So that meant that only 25%, and remember, our retention here with Bryte Lyfe is double. Right now, we're pacing to be double what World Ventures was in its best year. Our best year in 2016, it was 17% annual retention. So you put in 100, a year later you have 17. That was really good. That's better than Herbalife. I showed y'all Herbalife's when I did the retention training. You should go back and listen to that one. That's an oldie but a goodie. It's in the YouTube channel. I did that a few months ago. It's a great training to understand attrition and churn and retention. We talk about all of that and why this is going to be built for longevity, right? This is long-term. This is not quick cash. If you have people that are looking for quick cash, this is not it, okay? We are working on some things to try to speed things up so that at least from a mental standpoint, people feel like they're earning faster, they're getting their dues waived faster. All of these things are things that we're doing to improve this, right? To improve the sign-up percentage and even raise the retention from where we're pacing to be over 30% annually, which is crazy to think about in our first year that we could be over 30% retention, which is insane. It's the best it's ever been in the history of this industry. You can talk to anybody, any CEO, what we're doing has never been done before. But when you think about it, right, you just have to spend that 1 hour really inviting a week, but it's got to be every week. And here's the thing, you're training yourself, so like me, I know Sunday, Thursday, I'm doing the Zooms. Sunday, Saturday, I'm doing the training and the corporate call. It's in my DNA. Like I don't even have to think about it. Like it's for a lot of you, if you're not in this mode, somebody asks you, hey, what are you doing on Sunday at 7:00? And you're like, I don't know. What are you doing? So to me, it's like, oh, I have my corporate call. If somebody's like, hey, what are you doing on Saturday? It's like, well, after my training, I don't have anything planned. But it's like, because it's ingrained, because it's in my DNA now, it's in my schedule, it's in my routine, it happens every week. When you do this, when you get on this 4-hour work week and you do this and you start making calls for an hour, you're going to think of people, come across people that you've forgotten about, that you haven't pitched, that you haven't talked to in years. Go through your Facebook page, go through your Instagram page, scroll through your phone. That's the thing about sitting down and actually making the calls for the hour. That is the cap on your 4-hour work week. But to me, that's the keystone. That's the most important part of that 4-hour work week. If you're not really inviting for that entire hour, it doesn't work, right? I mean, but here's the thing. If you do that and you missed out on some of these other things, you're still going to get to 6 figures. That 1 hour is that important. And remember, this is get rich slow. This is not get rich quick, okay? The residual is built to be there for you forever. This is built to be a legacy company. We did not build this for a cash grab. There were people that came to me when I was starting the company that wanted me to do an altcoin, to do nodes and do other things. There were other things that we could have done that would have given people the opportunity to come in and grab cash. That's not the kind of people we want. That's not the kind of mentality we want. We want people to make good money long-term, consistently, and know that this is going to be there forever. Pay attention, get excited, never quit. And if you can put this 4-hour work week in, even during the holidays, okay? So make sure, and here's the thing, the next 2 trainings, okay, we're taking a break because it's the week of Christmas, all right? So Christmas falls in the middle of the week. So next Saturday and the following Saturday, we're not going to do trainings, okay? So I would encourage you to take that time and go through and watch the recorded trainings, okay? So use the training time still in your schedule. Doesn't have to be at the exact same time, but watch some of the old trainings on the Saturday when you would normally be training. So we're not going to have live training the next 2 Saturdays. And so over the course of the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks through the holidays, don't unplug your business because it's like the water spigot. Don't turn it off because then coming out of the Bahamas, you're going to have to work that much harder to pump it again. You're going to have people that are disengaged because the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. So if you slow down, if you unplug, if you stop doing meetings, if you stop inviting, if you stop getting on the Zooms, so are your people. Now you have to almost start completely over again. So don't try to start your business over every other month or every few weeks because you take your foot off the gas and you get off the 4-hour work week. It's not a lot of time. It's 4 hours to be full-time. You can make full-time income, 6-figure income, if you work just these 4 hours a week over the course of the next 12 months. I guarantee it. I will give it to you in writing if you want me to. You put in these 4 hours. Think about this. I'm guaranteeing you 6 figures. You put in these 4 hours every week for the next 12 months, you will be at 6 figures in this business. Nobody's ever proved me wrong. It's happened every time somebody's done it. They've proven me right. Okay, this is my ultimate hack. This is it. If you follow this, if you ask me, what's your biggest secret? What's your biggest tip? This is my answer every time. It's consistency, consistency, consistency. Even during the holidays, even during times when you don't feel like working, even when times that other people don't feel like working, still building your business. There's somebody out there, and we talked about this last week. There is somebody right now. Okay, you have friends and family right now who are on their knees praying for an opportunity right now. And they're asking God to provide something to them. And there is no reason that it should be a coincidence to you that we're sitting here talking about those people. The 2 people that reached out to me about giving away trips. I talked to them about the opportunity. I talked to them about what we're building. They both signed up, right? There are people that asked me for jobs this week. Though one of those two people signed up. They reached out to ask me for a job. And in turn, it gave me the opportunity to talk to them about what we're building here, what we're doing here. But the only reason those 4 people came in specifically was through the 12 Days of Giving post, the Bahamas trips post, the 12 Days of Giving post. So once again, is everybody going to get off this training? Right now, there's almost 50 of us on here together. So if everybody gets on it, that post from yesterday and today's post should have a bare minimum of 50 shares, because every single one of you, it takes literally 2 seconds. You go to my page, copy and paste exactly what I wrote, and then share it from the Bryte Lyfe page, not the Bryte Lyfe group. All of these posts are on the Instagram page and on the Bryte Lyfe public page. Okay? So if you want to see where that is, go click on the post from my page. Okay? You can see them on my public Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, and I've also been sharing them on Instagram as well. Okay? And so that's happened just extra. And so you don't know who's on their knees praying for opportunity, but some of these posts may bring some people to you that you didn't even think about or didn't even know. And it also could get us some more people in the Bahamas. I can promise you this. If you can get somebody to the Bahamas, they're going to be locked and loaded in your business, right? I've given that guarantee to a couple of my friends that I've been trying to recruit from the industry. I'm like, look, I guarantee you when you come and see what we're doing, you're going to want to be a part of what we're doing. So I'm so confident I will pay for your room at the Atlantis, right? Because I know the impact that it's going to have. I know how powerful this trip is going to be. And we still have a few rooms that we didn't sell. And so we don't want to waste them. We want people in those rooms. So if there's somebody that needs to go or wants to go, maybe can't afford the whole payment right now or whatever, shoot me a message. Send me a message. We want to get people here. If there's somebody that you know, if you could get them to the Bahamas, they would be locked and loaded and committed full time and they could crush it with Bryte Lyfe. Let's talk. Shoot me a message. We don't want these rooms to go to waste. Send me a message. Let's get these people to the Bahamas, because I'm telling you, if you can stay focused on your business, use the 12 days of giving. We've still got 8 days left. It leads us all the way up to Christmas, basically. Okay, so use the 12 days of giving. Post it every day. Don't just post it once. Okay, understand some of you have already missed it and haven't posted it. You could also go back and start at the first one. So you could go back and start at the first one and then do 12 straight days. And it'll take you past the 12 days that we started 4 days ago. So you don't have to miss anything. You've got lots of opportunity in front of you. Lots of people are wanting to spend money right now. Lots of people are wanting to book travel, because I'm telling you, we had hundreds of people wanting to win the trip to the Bahamas. So why can't we get some of those people signed up? They didn't win. Let's get it. We've got the 30-day money-back guarantee. Anybody who joins and books the Bahamas, I'm giving them a 30-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. Okay, if you didn't hear that already, you heard it. I've been saying it during the Zooms. Okay, normally we have a 7-day money-back guarantee. I'm giving everybody a 30-day money-back guarantee. So this is something that we're doing special for the Bahamas. They have no risk. They could literally join, book the Bahamas, save over $1,000, and then get their money back on their membership, get $200 back when they get back, if they want to. All right, they've got no risk. And so I wanted to share this stuff with you today. I think it's powerful for your business. It is my biggest hack. It's the ultimate hack that I have, and how I was able to build so many organizations and so many markets around the country and then eventually around the world was through this 4-hour work week concept. That Tim Ferriss book came out, 15, 20 years ago, and we used it for the 4-hour work week for this business. And it's worked, it's tested, it's tried and true. And so the only way you can fail at this business is to quit. Okay, so please make sure you share this with your teams, get them to watch it. I'll have the recording posted within the hour. So tell your team about it, send them the link. We've got some major stuff tomorrow night on the corporate call, some recognition, and then some highlighting some things that are going to be going live in January. We're going to preview a few things. So make sure you get everybody on tomorrow night. Go to the news section of the back office and reach out to Eva to help us with the service project. We really want to impact these kids in the Bahamas and make a lasting difference for Bryte Lyfe in this community, and do something that's permanent. So thank you guys so much for all of you that have already contributed or donated. If you're not coming to the Bahamas, you can still donate. We'll find somebody to bring your item. Just shoot Eva a message. we'll get it to the kids in the Bahamas. So we need everybody's support. We've only got like 16 things left, and we really need to try to get that done by Monday. So maybe powwow with your team, get your team together, see who can buy what, who can share, so we can get all these items that are on their wish list for this incredible learning center that we're going to be building for them. So thank you guys so much for being here today. Have a great weekend, and get ready for the holidays. Get ready to spend time with family. Good seeing all of you guys. Yeah, thanks so much. I'm seeing all the messages come in. Appreciate everybody here. And for you guys taking time out of your Saturday to be with me this morning. Have a great weekend, and God bless.